Aspen University CJ120 Introduction to Law Enforcement. My name's Andre Rosedale. I'm the instructor for this course. And this is Module 6, Discussion Question 1, which reads, your criminal justice professor is planning a class debate on the USA PATRIOT Act. Pick a side and develop your arguments. So after the horrific terrorist attack on September 11th, 2001, the United States Congress passed the Uniting and Strengthening America by Providing Appropriate Tools Required to Intercept and Obstruct Terrorism Act, the US Patriot Act, which is, I will cite the reference in the description of this video. It's in 2015. This act of legislation, known as the Patriot Act, was designed to strengthen security in the United States through domestic and border security, surveillance procedures, anti-money laundering as related to terrorist organizations, loosen obstacles to investigate terrorism, end fragmentation in law enforcement, and provide intelligence gathering. Title X of the Patriot Act, Title 10, is the miscellaneous section of this legislative piece. This section, in part, gives money to first responders nationwide to fund their assistance of fighting terrorism. Even as a police officer, this is where I have seen the most impact of the Patriot Act. Years after 2001, I was a volunteer firefighter in my city. I saw equipment, training, and even educational grants, that's how I got my master's degree at Aspen, being handed out to volunteer fire departments, ambulance corps, and emergency management units for retention and recruitment for volunteers. Small towns were getting armored vehicles, gas masks, and other equipment these towns never needed, could not use, and could not man. Why? I believe the Patriot Act was a federal government's way of closing loopholes that restricted the power of the federal government and reduced the central government. Money was thrown at fighting terrorism, but did it really change anything? I think state and local governments and their employees, and U.S. citizens in general, were distracted by the federal government by the funds they received to include everyone in national safety. I do not think the restricting of federal law enforcement roles and responsibilities are effective, and I do not believe that was ever the plan. So that's something I actually wrote years and years ago. But if you look at it, if you look at all the things that we have found out through the last president's term, you get into the fact that they were using the Patriot Act to spy on citizens, not just Trump and his campaign, but on just anybody they wanted to, basically. What do you think about that? What do you think about, did it really change anything? And what do you think about my statement that it was basically used for the federal government to be able to spy on its citizens? I look forward to your response.